Been a lot of speculation, a lot of conjecture about Sheffield Wednesday with regards investment, takeover. Where exactly do we stand?
Well, we stand at the same place, Trevor, and we stand very last time when I spoke to you and spoke to our friends in media locally and everywhere. I always said that when the time comes, if there are a group or individual of the people would take the club over from me, accelerate the progress of the club, and as long as those people are proper people, that's my number one goal, to leave the club in good hands. I will step out and support it. Yes, there are a few groups of people. There are a lot of people who would be interested, but I'm trying to protect our supporters, not to talk on daily or weekly basis, and not to grind on speculation and things like that, because it's unfair to the club, unfair to our supporters. So at the time when I have something tangible on the front of us here, I'll go out and explain that. Right now we don't have that. Okay, there are people who would have interest, but never seen their seriousness to the point where I can go out and give information.
Do you accept that there's a big thirst for knowledge about this situation with Sheffield Wednesday?
Well, it's a massive club. It's a club that is very much loved and supported with a lot of people, a lot of good people, and there is an interest. People are interested to know. And I have no problem with that. I'm as open as I always was, and I always will be, because there is nothing for me to do more than making the progress towards to this club. And if I had anything to say, more than that, I would, but there is honestly nothing at this point. Nobody came forward to say, yes, here is the deal, here is how we're going to structure it, here's what we're going to do going forward, this what club will look like, and all this stuff. So I haven't seen anything like that. There are people who ask for information about club, and they're given information, they're looking at the club, but whether they come through or not, as far as I'm concerned, I'm the one who is investing in the club, I'm the one who is on the firing line, I'm the one who wants to do what is the best for the club under the circumstances.
And some guys have been seen at games from the beginning of the season, only last weekend. Is that part of this process to which you refer?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys. Of course, they like to see the club. They like to come to see the games. We're accommodating them, but it doesn't mean that there is anything after that. We see them, see the game, feed them during the lunch, give them a glass of wine or two, and they're very happy. They go away. It's nothing really there. Okay, and I just think the most important is, if this happens with a proper group of people, with the people that will take this club further and be very positive, and that's really what my objective is.
Do you find this speculation unhelpful?
Well, it is. I just don't like to confuse our supporters. Okay, first of all, they have a chairman who stays on the top of the club, who really cares for the club. I'm no different than any one of those people. I show my commitments financially with the presence and every which way, and I hope that's good enough. When the time I find out that it's not good enough, I'll be the first one to step out. Okay, but you can't step out to leave the club. This club needs a lot of nursing, a lot of financial support, and right now, I don't want this club to go anywhere else but go forward. And our supporters have seen this speculation and people buying club every day before I arrived, and I bought this club in 4 days with due diligence. When I made decisions, saw the club available, saw the trouble, took me 4 days to do it. And anyone who wants to buy a football club takes short period of the time. He's got to have love for the football, love for the club, and the money. If they don't have one of those three, they will take forever, or they'll be nowhere. And what's the point to talk to people and keep them confused and unsettled? There's always somebody looking. I call those people tire kickers. Come to see the car, kick the tires, and they go away. And I don't want to bother our supporters. If anything, I'll try to shield them and protect them from those kind of rumors. But you can do so much. Some people show in the game. The media is very much aware of everything these days, okay? And sometimes you can't, shield those things.
So it's been suggested that the chairman has perhaps lost interest in Sheffield Wednesday Football Club, and as one football media show pundit said at the weekend, that the chairman is no longer committed correctly. What do you say to that?
Well, it's a shame. It's the first time in my 14 plus years being in England that anyone even mentioned that. I think anyone would say that is totally unprofessional, not having knowledge. I think a very limited about the knowledge about Sheffield Wednesday and myself. I'd like to see how many chairmen did arrive to this country in 14 plus years, took three clubs. They needed a lot of attention, a lot of ambitions, a lot of money to get out of their troubles. Okay, for that particular game or that particular program, never mentioned us not winning the game with the regular goal that we scored, a call for offside or anything else that was more tangible, more important for that show.
You obviously get quite upset by remarks like that.
Of course I'm upset, because I know how ambitious, how much I care for this club, how much I care for football. I put my money that I made on honest and hard way, put back in football here every year to support the efficiency, because this club needs to be fed, financially, till we at least go to Premier League.
There has been a perception, for example, when you first arrived, you said you would happily step aside if someone could come in and accelerate your plans. Now the perception is, amongst some circles, media included, that Milan Mandaric wants to sell the club. It's gone from happy to step aside with the right offer to he wants to sell the club. How has that perception changed?
Well, it's not that I want to sell the club, but I think that this club is a big club to even stay in a championship. This club needs acceleration of going to Premier League. So maybe somebody would come in and be more aggressive than me and be more, capable of pushing the club forward. And I'm trying to accommodate those kind of groups or people to do that. And just keep in mind, that I try as much as I can, and I devoted my time, I devoted my ambitions and my energy to this club. But at the same time, I think it's needed more than that. I realize this club needs to go a lot more aggressively forward.
So what's the answer, short term and long term?
Well, long term, I will do my best. I will be ambitious. I will try every which way. We need to get back on the race with the results, of course. It's needless to say. And then our goal is to go to Premier League. And as long as I'm here, that will be my goal and my objectives. And sometimes, you need to a little bit more time than you would. We cannot forget that we got out of League One just recently into Championship. Need to stabilize it a little bit. It's easy for some people to say, Chairman is not ambitious. Be patient. Let's be united. Let's stick together, and let's push this club towards to where this club needs to go. I'm not going to let this club to go anywhere else, but be stabilized and hopefully take it to Premier League.
I think football has changed dramatically since you first got involved in this country. I refer particularly to this kind of thirst for success, overnight success almost. And not just this club, many clubs.
It is. It changed. It's changed. Puts a lot of pressure on the clubs. It puts the pressure on supporters because they're more greedy for success, if you will. I'm talking in a positive way. They wanted the success overnight, and they forgot, what happened in the last 15 years. Not all of them, maybe small minority. I do get a few letters on daily basis, and I'm aware of that. And again, it's just more demand. It's less patient. Because of the pressure everywhere. It's a pressure of spending a huge amount of money dictated and provided by Sky in Premier League, and it's talking about 75, 80 million pounds for the clubs and parachute money and all this stuff. So it's just getting a little bit more aggressive than it used to be, and that also goes together with demand of supporters. They like to see in their club to go, to be on the top of the league, no matter what league it is, and I don't blame them. I'd like to do the same thing, but there are certain things you have to do it. You have to be patient and do it by allow yourself a little bit of time.